everybody? How is everyone doing today? So I thought I would give you very much high school Samantha realness because this is gonna be another Tori story time. So yeah, go ahead and get what y'all need because this one might just go ahead and be a long video because I got so much I need to tell y'all. There's so much backstory. There's like a long-winded thing. I don't know if I might make this into 2 parts depending on how long it is, or maybe I could cut this down shorter, but neither here nor there. Let's go ahead, get what you need to get so we could talk about this stuff, okay? And so like I'm kind of exhausted, y'all. Okay, I need to write a book, to be honest, because I just like I'm gonna write a book and the title is going to be A Series of Unfortunate Events, which is my life, because I'm not joking to y'all. Like I'm exhausted and I'm over life. It has been a very long week for me for other reasons, so this is gonna be my way of unwinding and decompressing, just to talk to y'all and just haha kiki, you know, the whole thing. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? Now, if you watched my last story time about Tori, I kind of like mentioned like what ended our friendship the first time, which was kind of like the big deal and should have just shown me like who she was as a person to begin with. Because if y'all don't know, I think it's like the second story time that I ever posted on this channel was about how me and her fell out for like the last time and like why I just officially stopped being friends with her. And that is like the final time. This was the first time we actually stopped being friends. Now, like I mentioned in a lot of my other story times about her, she was just one of those people that would act like the people she was around. So remember that when I started telling y'all what's going on. So boom. I told y'all in the last story time that she was kind of dibbling and dabbling with hood people. And like, I feel like I don't know if I should go ahead and preface it now or preface it when it comes up in the story, but basically, when I say like hood people, it's just like not real. I don't know how to explain it because the town that we were in, we lived in a suburb, okay? It was a very suburban town. And when you think of like hardcore, like you need to watch where you're going, you need to like not drive slow, you know, if you're not a resident of the neighborhood, you don't need to be here kind of thing. You think of Chicago, you know, you think about like Old Block, right? You think about LA, Crenshaw, like all those kind of places that are like known for that. It's not giving that, like, and it never was. So when I say hood, I mean that extremely loosely. I take it as like people that cosplay as gangbangers and whatnot. So just keep that in mind. So basically, she was getting into it with like that kind of group of people. It was like the guy, what did I name him? Greg, I think it was. You know, he was like selling drugs. And he was, you know, doing that. And she was slowly kind of infiltrating herself into a group of people. Now, for the sake of this, we're going to call the bad neighborhood, we're going to call it Disney, okay? Because, look, I am a suburban princess. I never claim anything. I was spoiled, I was privileged, I lived in a middle class, you know, neighborhood. Okay, so we're just gonna call this place Disney because it was like for our area, for the suburb that we lived in, that was like the rough neighborhood. So we're just gonna call it Disney. So she was starting to dibble and dabble with people that were from Disney. And the reason why I don't take it as anything is because I just never went over to that area because there was no reason for me to go to that area. But all of a sudden, like, now she's bringing up, like, oh, we should go over there. And I'm just like, for what? And she's just like, oh, there's this, there's that. And like, I'm not even saying like, oh, for what? Because it was a rough neighborhood. Like, there was literally nothing to do over there. There was nothing on that side of town. So I was like, what are we going over there for? To chill in somebody's house? Like, no. And just like the track record that she got for the people that she would have around, like, no, I'm not going to hang out with people that you want to hang out with, let alone in Disney. Not happening. So she just kept bringing up like, oh, we should go over there. Oh, we should go over there. And I'm just like, no, like, it's not happening. Not in my car, not on my time, you know, whatever. So we would like be cool when we would hang out with each other. But she kind of had like her alternate friend group. You know how it goes. Like, you're friends with different people. And like, you know, on her own time, she would go hang out with them. And I was noticing and peeping a lot of changes with Tori. And it would be like subtle things when we would start hanging out. Like, she would start practicing gang signs. This is not funny. So she would be like practicing gang signs in the mirror, which was nothing new if y'all saw the story time about the whole chicken wings and $17 story. So she was just like doing stuff like that. And then of course she started talking very, very different. And the group of people that she was hanging around were Bloods, okay? So she would just say stuff like, she would be like, no bap, right? That wasn't a thing back at that time, but just to give you an example, that's what she would start saying. Instead of saying no cap, she would be like, oh, no bap. In like regular conversations when it would just be me and her. So I'm just like, okay, like whatever, girl. And it would just be like little things like that, slowly but surely coming up, okay? So now she kind of got over the whole Greg situation. We went past that. It was what it was. Like, okay, cool. So now she started talking to this person. And I'm just going to refer to them as a person because I don't really know what the vibes were with them. I'm just going to assume, knowing what I know now, that they're non-binary, but we're just going to call them they, them, because I truly don't know. Well, I know, but like I don't keep up with these people, so I don't know what their lifestyle is now. I don't know what they go as today, so we're just going to call them they, them, okay? So she started talking to this person. And this person was high ranking. When I say this is so loosely, y'all, like, please don't take me serious. Please do not take me serious. So this person was high ranking in this group, this clique, because that's what I'm going to call it, because it wasn't a gang. They were a person that was like very prominent in that whole thing up in Disney. Like, everybody in Disney who knew who they were. And not for nothing, this clique had gotten into like a lot of altercations where like a lot of the people in their clique had passed away and stuff. So I was just very weary of being around them. And Tori was constantly trying to get me to hang out with them. And when I say them now, I'm talking about like that whole clique. And I just wasn't with it. I didn't want to go to Disney, like I keep telling y'all. And I just didn't, not even for nothing, because, you know, Blue was in his own little thing. And I didn't have a problem being around it, but it was just like this specific group of people that it just wasn't my vibe. Like, I just did not like it. And I just didn't want to be around them. But she just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. So one day she was like, oh, we should hang out or whatever, but can you come take me? Because I just need to pick something up real fast. So picking something up real fast was going to this person's house, which it was like their apartment, but it wasn't in Disney. It was somewhere else. So we pulled up to this place and she's like, oh, you can come get out. And I was like, I thought you were just picking something up. And she was like, no, like, come on. We could stay a little bit. So this was just so awkward because, oh my God, I feel like I was like assaulted in a certain way during this whole thing. So basically, her person was there at the house and or at the apartment or whatever, and she was just trying to get all booed up with them. Like Tori was trying to get all booed up with this person. She was all up under them doing like all this craziness, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, like whatever. Now this person, let's call this person B. So B and her were just like chilling, you know, all booed up or whatever. And so she basically left me hanging in this living room. And B had a friend that they lived with, and it was a girl. And this girl was really, really feeling me, okay? And I kept telling her, like, yo, I don't play for the other team, you know what I mean? I like men, I love boys for whatever reason. Trust me, I don't know why, but I know myself, like I just like boys, right? And this girl was on my body. Like it was too much. I have never felt that way before with somebody. Like even with men, I'm just like, I'm mean to men, but like I was just like, girl, can you stop? Like I don't like girls, blah, blah, blah. It was like a whole thing. So I'm sitting here telling Tori, I'm like, can we go please? Because I'm uncomfortable. This girl is on top of me. Like she's really trying so hard to be on me, and I just don't like it. I'm not comfortable here. Like I don't even know these people. Like, can we please go? And she's like, yeah, don't worry. Like we're going to leave right now, blah, 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 blah. So per usual, she does the whole like, Samantha wants to leave because she's not comfortable here. Like I hate that. So she did that whole thing. And we are on our way back to her house. And now while we're on our way back to her house, I'm telling her, I'm like, dude, why are you hanging out with these people? Like, be for real. Because not for nothing, me and Tori were very much privileged, spoiled, suburban princesses, okay? Like there was no reason for us to be here. And that was something that really, really bothered me because not like, I keep saying not for nothing, but my parents were like from the projects of Puerto Rico. Like they were in there, okay? And they worked very, very hard to, you know, put us and give us a lifestyle that they didn't have. But with that, they always like instilled in us, like there's nothing cool, there's nothing glamorous, there's nothing like, people that are in that situation is because they had no choice. Like it's nothing to try to put yourself in. It's not cool. It may look cool because, you know, the aesthetic, but like the actual facts of the matter, it's not something that you should be putting yourself around. It's not something that you need to be around. And so I also didn't like it because we are not like a part of this lifestyle. And like, you don't really know what you're getting yourself into. I feel like she had an idea of what she wanted to get herself into, but like she really didn't understand it. And you're going to see what I'm saying when like the story progresses. So I'm just telling her, like trying to put some sense in her head, like, girl, why are you hanging around these people? Because mind you, that was another thing. Like I said, a lot of the people from this clique were getting being passed. They were passing away because they were getting, because of the situations that would put themselves in. So I'm like, first of all, I don't even want to be a part of this clique. But second of all, I'm not about to be in this clique where people are, and okay, so no. Editing me here because I kind of feel like this may be misinterpreted or taken a type of way, like especially the way I'm saying it, and I don't want it to come off that way at all. What I'm trying to say is like, we were a part of a certain, it's kind of like ATL, you know what I mean? Where like Nunu was trying to act a certain type of way when she really wasn't about that life. And that's what I'm trying to say. I don't have anything against people, you know, from the hood and stuff like that. And I don't want it to come up like I'm being uppity, like, oh, why are we here? Like, we're so much better. That's not really what I'm trying to say. My issue with Tori this entire time was like, why are you trying to be a part of a lifestyle that you have no idea? Like, you didn't struggle. You don't know what that's like. You don't know what it is, but you want to be around people, and it's like you want to be a part of the struggle so bad when that's not even you. Like, you come from a 2-parent household in the suburbs, and you want to be hood so bad, and that's just not your life. That's what I was trying to say. So I hope it doesn't come across that I'm trying to be like uppity or like think like, oh, I'm superior because I was from the suburbs or whatever. That's just kind of how I'm trying to explain it. Like, she wanted to be a part of it so bad, and that just wasn't her story. Also, I didn't have a problem with these people because they were like hood or whatever. They were known to be bad people. Like, it wasn't, because I didn't really explain that either. They were not good people. They were known for like robbing, stealing, and stuff like that. So it's like, why are you even putting yourself around people that can either steal from you or that are known to do stuff like that and put you in certain type of positions, setting you up and all that other stuff? Why would you even want to be around somebody like that? Like, that's what I'm saying. Not because they were like anything. It was just the specific group of people that she was around. It's like, why are you hanging around them? So I was just trying to talk some sense into her, and of course it just came off as me being whack, me being lame. I'm just being bougie. It was kind of like annoying because she was trying to make it seem like I was trying to say that I'm too good to hang around these people, and I'm like, that's not what I'm trying to say. It's just like, you know better, so do better. I don't understand what you're trying to do here. And mind you, these people were older than us. It wasn't like we're hanging around people our age. We're hanging around with some grown folks that already chose their lifestyle. Like, we don't need to be a part of this. So anyway, time fast forwards, and I'm starting to notice that she is doing a lot, okay? Now, all of a sudden, there was a K in her name, or there was a C in her name, and she changed it to a K. She started wearing red a lot. She had the bandana, and I'm just looking at her like, what are you doing? Like, it was one of those situations where I just constantly, like, I would see, when we would hang out by ourselves, we wouldn't even be talking about this stuff. We wouldn't even be in this kind of stuff. We would just chill. But then I would see her Instagram and Snapchat, and I would see when she's hanging around them and being around them, she's like throwing up signs, she's doing all this stuff, she's putting K's everywhere. Now she doesn't use C's in her writing anymore. So her captions, she would put K's for C's, and she was just doing a lot. And me knowing who she was, I'm like, what are you doing? Now, mind you, I'm her best friend. I'm publicly her best friend. Everybody knows me for that. People are asking me what she got going on. And people are telling me like, oh, you need to tell your friend to stop doing that. You need to stop. And at the same time, like, yeah, she's my best friend or whatever, but like, I'm also not liable for her. Like, I can only say so much. I'm not trying to like, I don't even know how to regulate the situation. I told her as much as I could, and I like slowly started weaning myself off of that. Now, mind you, this was another thing too. During this time, I was really heavily into volleyball. Like, volleyball was a life, okay? So she wasn't on, I was on an off-season team, like a traveling team. She wasn't. So like, my head, when I was at volleyball practice and I was going here, and here for volleyball games, she was over here doing all this related activity. And so I'm just like, I wasn't a part of it. So when people are telling me all this stuff, I'm like, that's her own problem. That's her own things that she has to deal with. Okay, we're still cool, we're still friends and everything, but it just started to get to a point where I felt like she was kind of choosing a side at this point. And also, like, maybe this is just me, I don't know, but there's a lot of things that I look at when, like, you as your own person, even if we're friends, that I look at and I'm like, okay, that's whack. Like, you're being weird or corny or lame. And those are like little things that just make me personally fall back. And so when I started seeing her changing the way she was typing, and I saw her like taking certain pictures with certain people with certain like hand gestures, I'm just like, what? Like, why are you doing? Your mom drives a BMW. Like, that's what all I could think about was like, girl, you look dumb. Like, you look dumb, not only to like other people, but to me too, because you know you're not about that life. Like, what are you doing? And not to mention, like, this is so stupid of me. Like, this is so extra of me, but like, I don't care. If you're gonna be a part of something, be like a part of like the good something. Like, not even the good, but like, if you're gonna be a part of a gang, be a part of like the good one, the winning one, the one that like, you know, people are actually scared of, the stuff that people are like, oh, if I call somebody, like, people are gonna shake in their boots. Nobody was checking for these people. Like, it was a clique. Like, what are you talking about? So it was just weird to me. All around, it was just weird behavior, and I just started distancing myself from it because I had no parts. And then on top of that, I was just too busy. Like, I had my own, I was living a high schooler's life, okay? So boom, fast forward, there was a time that she had told me that she wanted me to come over and we could just chill and da. So I was just like, okay, cool. Like, I was already kind of feeling a type of way towards her, but I'm like, you know what, she just wants to chill with me, she just wants to hang out, like, that'll be fun, that'll be cool. And I remember this day so perfectly because y'all don't even understand, first of all, y'all don't even understand how badly my feelings were hurt, but just, it was almost like I saw this coming in like a weird way. I saw this coming. So basically, there was one day after school, she had texted me, it's like, hey, you should come over. And I was like, okay, cool. Now, me and Tori, we had this thing, like, she loved chips and salsa, like Tostitos salsa in the can. And she had put me onto it. So I'm going over to her house. Like, I feel so stupid saying this, but like, I have my chips and salsa in my hand, and I'm thinking, like, you know, we're just gonna chill in her house, watch some movies, talk about people, you know, the usual stuff that like I love to do with her. So whatever, I come to her house, and here is the person, not B, but her friend, the one that was like on my body, and the one that was like, I was telling her, made me super uncomfortable because she would just not leave me alone. So this friend is at her house. So I walk in, and you know, I'm not rude or anything. I'm like, hey, how are you, whatever. And she's like, hey, I'm good, blah blah blah. And I'm like looking at Tori because I hate that. Like, don't make it seem like it's gonna be you and me if you got like other people around. Like, you could have just said that, you know what I mean? So I walk into her house and I see that, you know, the friend is there, and I'm like, hey, whatever. And so I'm looking at Tori funny because I'm like, why didn't you tell me that she was gonna be here? She was just like, oh, like they just popped up because I'm waiting on B because B was coming to get us some, and we're all just gonna chill here for a little bit. And so off the bat, like, as anybody would think, like, that's not what I wanted to do. I don't want to hang out with these people. I didn't want to do that, like, whatever. So we're just sitting here. I'm just eating my chips and salsa, and I'm just not really saying anything. I'm noticeably upset. And so Tori's like pulling me to the side, and she's just like, why do you have that face? Like, what's wrong? Like, everything is fine. Like, I know. She was trying to do the whole, like, I know I said that it was just gonna be us and we were just gonna chill, but like, I just, you know, they told me that they were in the neighborhood and she was gonna pull up on me, blah blah blah. And like, I already knew that she was lying. Tori would lie so much, bro, and I just knew her well enough to know, like, you're lying. Like, you asked them to come over, you wanted them to come over because that was the thing. If her mom was gone, she wasn't allowed to have people at her house. But if her mom was gone and she wasn't gonna be home for the rest of the day, like, it was one thing if it was me at her house because, like, who am I? But she would just say, like, oh, Samantha's coming over, and it would really be like other people coming over or guys coming over. I was like her scapegoat. But like, if it was guys, like, I was willing to, like, you know, I'll be your little wingman if you're just trying to get it in, you know, the first 30 minutes that I'm here, and then after they leave, you know, we could chill, we could have fun. That's usually how it went. But this is not it anymore. Like, you're being funny, and I don't like these people already. I don't want to be around these people already. So it was just that. So whatever, B comes in, and so B and Tori are on the couch, booed up or whatever. And then, so, because it was like a sectional thing, so like B's friend is on one side of the couch, and B's friend was on one side of the couch, and then B and Tori were on the other side of the couch, and I'm like on the back of them because I'm at the dining room table eating chips and salsa. So it's like I'm just on my phone, I'm chilling here, like whatever. I don't even know why I stayed, to be honest, but I'm just sitting here. So B was like, oh, I gotta make some moves, I'll be right back. But Tori, for whatever reason, had to be like attached to them at the hip. So she was like, oh no, I'll come with you. And then B was like, nah, don't worry about it, because I'm gonna be a minute, blah, 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 blah. And Tori's like, no, like I'm gonna come, like just hold on, blah, 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 whatever. So she basically tells me, because I heard that they were going to make a play or whatever, but she comes and tells me, because they like ended up like whispering and doing all like another stuff. Like, I don't even know what they had going on, to be honest. So Tori comes up to me and she was like, oh, me, B, and B's friend, we're going to be right back. We're just going to go grab something real quick and then we'll be back. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave. Like, I'm not going with y'all and I'm not gonna be here. So I'm just gonna leave. She's like, no, just stay here, because it's just gonna be like 5 minutes. Don't even worry about it. It's gonna be like 2 seconds. You don't have to come with us. I'm just gonna go with them real fast and then I'll come back. So I was just like, okay, whatever, cool. Like, whatever. Biggest mistake, bro. So Tori leaves with B and B's friend, and I'm just sitting in this house by myself, okay? Like, I'm sitting in somebody else's house by myself, and I'm just watching TV and scrolling through my phone, looking through stuff, blah, 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 whatever. And I'm just like, okay, like, where is she? Like, 5 minutes went by, I didn't say anything. 10 minutes went by, I asked her, I'm like, hey, where are you? No response. 15 minutes go by, I'm like, hey, Tori, where are you? Like, what's up? And she responds with like, oh yeah, I'm coming back, don't worry, like, give me a second, we're on our way back. So, okay, like, it was already 15 minutes, like, for them leaving, so I'm like, okay, it's probably gonna take her like 10 to 15 minutes for her to come back. 15 minutes go by, 20 minutes go by. So mind you, now I'm like 45 minutes in her house alone, right? Like, I'm by myself in this girl's house. So I'm like, okay. I message her again. I'm like, hey, Tori, where are you? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm just gonna leave because you pretty much just left me here. No, don't leave. Like, I'm on my way back. Like, I'm coming back right now. 5 minutes went by. 10 minutes went by. 15 minutes went by. I spent a whole hour in her house by myself. Mind you, this was after school, so I'm just like, her mom is gonna walk in at any moment. She's not gonna be here, and I'm just gonna be sitting at her dining room table, eating chips and salsa, watching her TV, while her daughter's not even here. And I'm like, you know what? God only knows what she told her mom, so I don't even want to be here for that. So I just like left. I texted her because she never responded after that. I texted her, I'm leaving, like, whatever. And my thing with people, and maybe this is like a toxic trait, maybe this is like a bad trait, I don't really know. I don't feel a need to give people explanations. Like, I just told her that I was leaving. I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to stop being friends with you. I'm not going to tell you that I'm going to stop talking to you. I'm just going to do it, because what's the point of even talking about it? Like, who cares? I don't need to explain myself to you, especially because, like, you know what you did. I know what you did. Like, what do we have to talk about it for? So I just ghosted her. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. She responded like 2 hours later talking about oh, I'm sorry. Like, I just got your messages. Like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to leave you at my house like that. Like, don't take it. And this is what I hate too, that like people seem to do to me like all the time. They try to make it like a LOL kind of thing. Like, sorry I left you at my house. I got caught up. I'm just now seeing this. Ha 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 ha. What's funny about that? Like, I'm sorry. You think that we're just gonna, oh, LOL, no worries. Go to hell, please. Like, what? So I just ghosted her because I don't have anything else to say to you. So we go back to school and she's like trying to talk to me and I'm just not talking to her back. Like, I'm just like, and she's like, she came up to me the next day at school and she's like, oh, Sam, I'm so sorry. Like, it's just that I got caught up, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, cool. Like, whatever. And like, at this time, mind y'all, we're still in high school. So we shared a locker. I'm just like, whatever. Like, I didn't even tell her to get her stuff out my locker. I didn't say anything. I just stopped talking to her. I was giving very much Sammy sweetheart. I really, really was, because I don't, stop talking to me. Like, what do you need from me? Like, girl, bye. So she slowly starts taking her stuff out her locker, whatever. And as much as I understand that, like, I ghosted you, like, I didn't give you a reason as to why I'm gonna stop talking to you and stuff like that, I also didn't give you a reason to go around talking bad about me. So that's exactly what she started doing. So now I cut off all communications with her. I did not feel like talking to her anymore. We were good to go. Like, that's it. That's, wash my hands of you. And so she is now full on blood, okay? My girl decided to dye her hair red. Okay. So me and her stopped being friends, and now I'm just seeing her as a bystander, just slowly but surely transition her life as a full-on gangbanger, I guess. So she is only wearing red. She's only writing with K's, not C's. She's going by a different name. I didn't even know that that was a thing, but like, hey, go for it. Initiate yourself, girl. She, all of a sudden, I'm seeing all these fight videos with this girl. Like, it was crazy, honestly, like how much of, like, I'm not joking, y'all. It was like a span of 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We went from like suburban princess to like Cardi B. Like, it was wild. So I'm seeing like videos of her on Facebook getting into all these fights. I'm seeing her in music videos. I'm seeing her in all this stuff, repping this craziness. Like, it was so much stuff that she had going on. And I'm just like, what in the world is wrong with you, girl? So like I said, I just stopped talking to her. And so she's already talking bad about me to everybody. She's saying everything that she feels like saying about me, which was typical. She just loved talking bad about me, to be honest. Like, I'm not even going to say that I was the best friend. Like, because, you know, I have my own attitude and my own character flaws that some of y'all like to point out. I get it, but like, I don't see how that was grounds for like talking bad about me. I don't know, maybe it is, but I took like our little departure as like a smooth, clean cut. Like, we're just done with each other. Like, I have nothing to say to you. I have nothing to say about you. It is what it is, you know, whatever. And like I said, I had other things going on. I was like doing very well in volleyball. I was, you know, living my life. So she decides to talk bad about me and befriend this one girl. And for the sake of the story, we're just gonna call this girl Alana. I don't know where that came from. So Alana and her just decided to be the best of friends because they were pretty much doing the same exact thing. Like, just cosplaying as gangbangers, I guess you want to call it. So them two were on the whole vibe like that. And it was like kind of ridiculous too, because it's so crazy. My mom worked with Alana's mom. So it's just like, because I even told my mom, like, no, like, so-and-so, like, because my mom worked with Alana's mom. So, like, okay? And I told my mom, I remember I told my mom, I'm like, oh yeah, tell her daughter's a gangbanger now. Like, that's crazy. They just decided to, you know, switch lifestyles apparently. And my mom was just like, what? Yeah, that's how like out of the norm this craziness was. And so I just specifically remember her and Alana just became the best of friends. And when I was walking to my car one day and Tori and Alana were like outside at the same time. And Tori just started yelling profanities at me, but it was just like not, I couldn't even take it seriously because she was trying to speak in like the lingo and she sounded dumb. Like it was, y'all know when people like, when people from America try to make like British accents and it comes out so wrong and it's like that's not even an accent. Or like when people try to make, if you're not from the South but people try to do Southern accents and it comes out so bad and it's like that's not even how it sounds for real. That's how she sounded, yelling these profanities at me. Mind you, I did not do nothing to this girl. I said nothing to this girl. I just kept it cute. I was like, okay, anyway, like, girl, what? Like please, and don't do it with me. Do not do it with me because I'm not joking. I will turn into Sammy's sweetheart so bad. She was yelling profanities at me. I just, yeah. You look dumb. Like, girl, bye. You look a mess. Get it together and refresh that splat red color that you have on your head, please. Okay, so that's what I was giving her because I'm not gonna go back and forth with some wannabe gangster. Okay, please. Never. So that was like a little altercation or whatever that we had gotten into. Well, it wasn't even an altercation, it was just that, like, and that was just the vibes. No lie, y'all, after that interaction, this girl got shipped off to some juvenile center. And people, do you believe people were contacting me, asking me why she was in this juvenile center? As if I was supposed to know. Like because I didn't even know what happened to her. She just like fell off. Like I never saw her in school after that. Like didn't know. But like honestly, I'm just the type of person, like, when you're not my friend, like, I really don't care about what happens to you. Maybe that's, like, a really bad of me. Maybe I am evil. I don't know. But, like, I could care less about what happens to you. So, when she just stopped showing up to school, like, I wasn't asking about her until people started asking about her to me. They were like, oh, what happened to her? What happened to her? Like, why did she go to the juvie? Why did she go to juvie? Da-da-da. And there was, like, a specific school that, like, people, it was, like, jail for, like, teenagers, and you got shipped off there like when you know you were being like, but you had to be like really bad, you had to commit crimes to go. Like it wasn't just like an alternative school, like you had to do something. And I was just like, girl, I don't know what is going on with this girl's life. And I'm not joking. Ever since she stopped being my friend, like her life just went downhill. And I was trying to get her on the right path, you know? Like we can have fun. We can chit chat with these boys, you know, whatever. But once you start doing all this craziness and start dyeing your hair red, like what? No. So come to find out, you know, she got into these altercations. She was doing all this craziness. She got into it with the wrong crowd. She got sent off to that juvenile center, but that wasn't up to me or whatever. So then it wasn't until our last week of high school, we were having like some field day thing, that she randomly comes up to me, because I'm not joking, y'all. I would seriously, like, I'm a B word. Especially because I'm so nice. Like, I'm so nice and so good to you until I'm not. Like, to be honest. Like, that just is what it is. So, she comes up to me, and I'm just like, yes. Like, what do you want? And she's just like, oh, can I talk to you? And I'm just like, talk to me about what? Like, what do we need to talk about? And she's like, oh, can we take a walk? And, like, why was it the biggest thing in the world? Everybody's like, oh, Sam and Tori are taking a walk, and then we ended up reconciling. She told me everything that happened, and I basically told her, I told you so, because there was no reason for you to even get involved with these people. These people stole from her, because, oh my God, y'all. This is kind of spilling her tea, but like, whatever. She ended up getting kicked out of her house and ended up going to this she started living with this other girl. And this other girl, I never liked her. To this day, I still don't like her. Like, she was just so annoying. Whatever. I'm not even gonna say to this day I don't like her, because I like literally don't keep up with her. But like, at the time, like, I just really couldn't stand this girl. And she said she ended up living with this girl. She's talking about, oh, now I see why you don't like her. She stole from me. She stole $300 from me. She did this. She stole my Jordan. She did that. Da, 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 da. And I just sat there, and she's just telling me all the things that happened to her. And I'm like, yeah, I told you that was going to happen to you. Like, I told you so. I told you so. And she's like, I know. This girl started crying. Like, I know losing you as a friend was just crazy, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I'm not as cold as people think I am. I like kind of softened up after, you know, I was dumb, to be honest. I should have never accepted her friendship again. I should have never been friends with her again, because that was just a joke. I was just thinking about like the good times. Like, I was just like, we were friends. We had such good times together. But I really should not have befriended her after that. But that's how we reconciled after a year of her going crazy. To this day, she still has those like tendencies, I guess. Actually, let me stop saying to this day, because I don't know what she has going on. She has tried to reach out to me and like apologize, but I just don't do that. I don't accept your apology, and I don't really care. Yeah. We're past that now. Like, we're old now. This is so stupid. We have nothing to talk about. We have nothing to rekindle. We have nothing to talk and, you know, share or squash or whatever. That ship has sailed. Life has been moved on, okay? So yeah, that was the first blowout that me and Tori had with each other. And it's just kind of like sad, to be honest, because I think that was the first time that I saw like firsthand experience, like, you just can't save everybody. Like, you can't go off of people's potential, like, and you can't hold on to how people used to be, or like how people's friendship used to be. And for the record, guess I keep getting these comments. People are always like, oh, if you don't have any friends, you're the problem, blah, blah, blah. I choose not to have friends, okay? Because of like situations that have happened over time and like ever since like a young age, you know, things that I've have experienced, I just don't outwardly try to make friends or be super close with people for these kind of reasons. I just don't see the point, and I also don't want to hurt my own feelings, you know what I mean? But this was kind of like the first time where I just saw like, you really can't save everybody. And just because somebody was a good friend, like a best friend to you at one point, like if they choose a different lifestyle than you and they choose to do things different, it has nothing to do with you. It's just, that's where their interests lie, and is what it is. And it just kind of like that reoccurring thing just kept happening in our friendship. Like, you just can't save somebody who doesn't want to be saved and doesn't want, like, they're gonna do what they want to do anyway. So don't even worry about it. Don't even stress yourself thinking about it anymore, because life goes on. If I have learned anything through friendship, is that life goes on. Time waits for no one, so you'll get over it eventually. So anywho, that's my life lesson for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Sorry if it was kind of all over the place. I don't know. I'm trying to go off of memory, y'all. And this stuff feels like it happened 20 years ago. So Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Also, thank you so much to the people that are signing up to my membership. I once again had a surge in members, and I just really appreciate y'all supporting me. Like, love y'all down. So anyway, thank you guys so much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.